Hey guys, Youngblood with you, and today we're leaving what I consider to be a piracy haven of Magnus and moving into the shining beacon of UEE civilization, which is Terra. Now, Earthbound folks may disagree that Terra is the center of culture in the UEE, but it's hard to argue with the huge spike in major corporations moving their homes to Terra and the popularity of Terra's music. If Earth is still leading the pack, it's really not going to be by much. Terra was initially discovered in the 2500s through long-distance relay images, and one image showed what everybody hoped to find, which ended up being a super-Earth in the planet third in orbit from the star. This planet was in orbit around the star like Sol. It's a type G star, but one major difference was the lack of outer planets. And as scientists moved into the Terra System, they immediately discovered what would be one of the foundational aspects to this becoming a major hub, and that was a significant number of jump points. They immediately found 5, but in today's star map, we actually have connections to 7 different systems, being Hadrian, Stanton, Gauss, Tyrannus, Pyro, Magnus, and Tayak. Now, what makes this even crazier is that based on the location of Terra in the dense star cluster, there was a mathematical possibility that 24 jump points could exist, though most wouldn't be stable enough to endure a jump. So for you explorers out there, finding a new jump point here in Terra seems like a very likely situation and could be a good starting point for those of you that are looking to make a name for themselves early on. I can't wait to go through a jump point that's been discovered by the famous explorer Dick Pickle, or some other silly name that I'm sure you knuckleheads are going to be sporting. Anyway, there was another interesting fact that was quickly discovered about this system. There was once life here before. They found massive stone ruins that were clearly constructed by someone or something with at least some level of intelligence. So there was a little bit of a mystery there to solve. Now, the first world in orbit is Terra 1, or Arrow, and the planet itself is real close to the star, and like other planets we've talked about in dangerous situations. There's resources and minerals there. But like other planets we've talked about, you'll pretty much die if you try to go there. Now, that ends up being a big old tease, but there might be some hope there, at least with the lore stating that human life in environmental suits can't survive long. So potentially a well-shielded machine or mining drone could do better. I'm not promising anything, but I think it's technically a possibility at this point. Terra 2 is known as Pike, and this is a place where mining techniques have really flourished. There's a crazy amount of minerals on this planet, and it makes it one of the most sought-after mining locations in the galaxy. The planet's just covered with these autonomous cities that are cranking out platinum, iron, gold, and mercury daily in just large quantities. And based on the orbital cycle of the planet, Arrow cannot sustain human life for long periods of time. And with this being the future, machines could go out and do the work. So if there's a place in this game for a machine uprising like Terminator, keep an eye on Pike. I'm watching you, Pike. Now, this planet doesn't really suffer from storms, so the autonomous workers can really just go non-stop in their mining efforts, which has really been critical in the growth of this system as a whole. The third rock from the sun is Terra, taking its name from the star that it orbits, and is a beautiful planet. The capital city is known as Prime, which is this mega city that's located along a bay. The city is incredibly well organized thanks to our current mindset. Back on Earth, buildings went up where there was space and new ones replaced old ones. That meant that planning wasn't as much of a priority. It was about making the best of the space you had available. Prime, however, along with the other cities on Terra, were planned from the beginning, making them just incredible. Prime also has landing zones that are set up away from the city center, meaning that there's very little pollution in the air, even though it's a major city. So you hop on a monorail to get from the city and get back to your hangar. And if you're looking for, a real nice place to settle down late in your Star Citizen career, Prime would be a good option for you. Ship stores, restaurants, concert venues, and some of the seedier aspects like black markets, this place really does have it all. And the city is broken up into 2 sections, the pristine downtown section, but also what's known as the Block, which is where lower class citizens live, along with Jennifer Lopez, but even that place has a lot of value. The second largest city is Quasi, and it's actually located in the colder southern climate in the shadows of those stone monuments that we talked about before. Quasi is really more of a touristy city, but there are major companies here like Crusader. And while Crusader is technically operating out of the Stanton system, they do own and operate the Platinum Bay landing facilities. And the last city we know about here is New Austin, which is the most industrialized city on the planet, but even that isn't saying a whole lot. It's basically a very large business park, which is the home to Origin Jumpworks and Cronus Devices. Are you really surprised that Origin, the luxury ship manufacturer, makes their home on Terra? Me neither. Terra 4 is known as Gen and is technically Terra's sister world, though it's quite a bit smaller and is the outermost planet in the system. And it had to be terraformed to end up colonizing it, but it does provide home to Terra's military and diplomatic sectors. This planet is landscaped in military bases and offices, of the administration, along with the housing for some of them. Terra as a system, though, likes to separate work and play, so there's a large contingent of people that live on Terra and then commute over to Gen. This system is really important in the lore, and it's going to be a popular place to visit in-game. As far as what you can do once you get here, there are options. Exportation is likely going to provide income if the rest of the galaxy is interested in getting a slice of the Terran culture. Mining could potentially have some value here, but it might be relegated to the Marisol asteroid belt located in the outer orbit of the system. There is the Hengi asteroid cluster as well, but it is claimed by major mining outfits. Keep in mind, though, you can absolutely get hired on behalf of other companies to do mining for them. So check out my mining as an occupation video for more details on that if you are interested in that career. And as mentioned before, I think exploration could potentially be viable, at least in the short term, with the potential opportunities to find jump points. There is money in the system, and like we've talked about with Magnus, I think pirates are going to make their way into this system to make a quick buck, so providing escort services to protect against those attacks could be a source of income for those of you that have combat on the brain. There is a military in this system, though, so it's not going to be a free run for the pirates either. All in all, it's a cool system, and it's one that I personally look forward to landing on, landing in Terra and checking out the sites. So stay tuned for more journeys through the Starmap. I appreciate you guys watching. Have a wonderful day, and take care.